I get it. Luxury boxes. You know, you got to get the people in there. You got to make your money. But I'm telling you, the old barns still. And look, there were some seats in the Gardens when you got to the corner. They just jammed them in about 1920 or whenever they built that. But there was still an energy about it that I don't know if any of the new buildings can capture what that feels like. Do you think it's
Well, no, all the old buildings, all the original 6 especially, but any of the old buildings had their own character, had their own identity. As soon as you walked in the building, you knew you were in a hockey rink. You'd get dropped. You could get dropped blindfolded in any of the old rinks. As soon as you opened your eyes, you knew where you were. And now in the game, you can get dropped in any rink and you don't know what city you're in.
No,
they're all generic, and so home and road teams really don't matter anymore. Where in the old days it used to matter. You're going into Boston Garden, you're going into Montreal in the old Forum. Each rink, that team was built for that rink, and so home meant a lot more then because you got to play most of your games in the rink that your team was built for.
Like Wendell, it's hard to think of some of the buildings today where there actually is sort of a home ice advantage. I know Edmonton's still very loud. Edmonton, they're still freaks.
Edmonton's good because Edmonton's also got the best ice. So that if they can get a skating team there, that's one of the teams that always have the best ice. That's been forever since I was playing the Edmonton. You get out there and you not only have to try to keep up to the Oilers of the '80s, but now they've got ice they've been flying on, and we're used to bouncing the puck on ice, and they're playing perfect.
Now, what are the ones that the ice wasn't as great? I know Buffalo had some issues. What about Boston?
Well, Boston, depending on the basketball, like the guys the other night playing Ottawa, playing in there the other night, what was it, an hour and a half later, they were playing hockey and they were bouncing the puck around the blue lines. And but anytime you have the interchange, the Rangers was always bad because of the temperature. You're on the 6th floor, and the odd time we'd be doing pregame skate in the morning, and the home team didn't have to do pregame skate at Madison Square Garden, but the visiting team did, and we'd be skating around pylons where you couldn't skate. So you'd be professional hockey game at pregame skate. You can't skate here. There's no ice.
We are also taking some of your questions on Twitter. Here's one from Nelson, and this is probably one that you get often, and it's a tough question. I don't know the answer. Do you trade in all your great years with the Maple Leafs for a cup ring?
Well, you'd always love a cup ring, but I don't know. Your experiences, it's tough to judge that. And I'll go back to the prime example, Ray Bourque. Ray Bourque went to Colorado to get the cup, and I remember Ray Bourque as a Boston Bruin. Ray Bourque lives in Boston. Ray Bourque has everything still to do with Boston. He has a cup, but I think he keeps it in the safety deposit box because he lives in Boston. So he went away to get it. But I still think of Ray Bourque as a Boston Bruin. He's a lifer there. That's who he is.
There are a couple of questions I will try to get to, as many as I can. There's obviously, they're talking about '93 a lot. Your greatest playoff moment. Here's maybe the question you haven't had. Will anyone be brave enough to date Wendell's daughters? Now that...
I don't want to go there yet.
It's 8:22 on TSN 1050. Mike Richards in the morning. This new brand of Leaf hockey that we've seen, and they've given us a pretty good year. I mean, they've almost been in the top 8 the entire time. They have a different kind of identity. They've gone through their own struggles, including between the pipes. You know, when you have a young guy like James Reimer and Ben Scrivens, I mean, all they heard was how they kind of maybe weren't wanted, that there was other goaltenders that they prefer to have, and again, they had to be very focused for very young guys. And there's not a lot of veterans on that team. So when you look at all the things that they've had to overcome this year, what has impressed you the most about this particular team?
I think the resiliency is a lot of it. The young guys, they keep pushing through it and they keep growing. And the greatest thing about them playing in a situation like Toronto is they're getting all the experiences tenfold. So you could be playing in a quiet place like Columbus, and you don't get these experiences quick. It maybe takes you 5 years to learn what our guys have learned in 1 year, just the pressures and dealing with it, and so all those situations are sped up, and I think it actually will help our guys in the long run, where the playoffs won't be as big a difference because they've been playing with it every day here in Toronto. That's just part of it, and really the game doesn't change in the playoffs other than the intensity always seems to get ratcheted up, but the game is still the game, and the guys just do their job, do what you got you here, and do what you did all regular season. just try to bring your A game every night.
Well, they're going to need to do that against the Boston Bruins. And as I said, this year they did battle them. It's not like they drew this card. And I know a lot of people talk about the seedings where, there's obvious sort of matchups and positives and negatives of each team. But I think when you get to this level at this time of year, you better not be that worried about who you match up, or I don't like your chances in the playoffs anyways.
Well, no, if you're always thinking about winning the Stanley Cup, if that's your goal, it doesn't really matter who you're playing. You have to beat every team on the way to get there to be the only last team standing. So you can't really start going to pick where you want to play or how you want to play. And sometimes playing your tough one and not being nobody expecting it is the right way to go. You're going to be prepared. You're not going to go in the easy way. But I think if we play our game and everybody does their thing, I think we're in it with a lot of teams.
I agree. And when you look at some of the young players, and look, there are always going to be comparisons because, especially in a format like that. That's what most of the losers do. Is this guy's the next Doug Gilmour. Well, I don't know if there's going to be another killer. I got to be honest. I don't know if I'm really looking at another Wendel Clark. It's, as I said, I find comparisons to be really difficult. But the players that they have on the ice right now, we talked about Phil Kessel a little bit. Kadri is been, I think, I don't believe a surprise. I think he's proven to a lot of people that he plays at a higher caliber and will continue to play that way. Of the guys that you look at when you see them on the ice, who has impressed you the most?
Well, Kadri's come out and impressed. But he's been 3 years after he's been drafted. He's maturing. He's getting stronger as a player that allows him to play. He sees the ice very well. He makes plays, and he just, he's got to keep his intensity up there. And he's got that skill that you need to get better as a hockey club. Lupul, knock on wood, keep the health going because he's really had the puck fall on him this year, and that recreates more scoring for our team when he's gone. Van Riemsdyk's in and out. He's got to keep his feet moving and stay in front of the net, keep those big bodies where the traffic is, and he wins those battles. He puts the puck in the net. And Phil, a lot of times the guys are hard on Phil but he's a 30-goal scorer. And then they go, well, he's streaky. Well, all 30 goal scorers are streaky. If you weren't streaky, you'd be an 80-goal scorer. And that's what a 30-goal scorer is. You're going to score in bunches, then you don't score for a while, and then you score in bunches, and that's just the way it is being a 30-goal scorer. He's top 10 in scoring. So there's a lot of positives there that we kind of overlook, but it takes a team effort, and our tough guys, they bring energy to the building. They make everybody feel better. They know their role. I think our defense has played solid. They're trying to find shutdown guys all year, playing Dion with different guys and playing a lot of minutes. And mainly the backbone is Reimer. And on any team, it's your goaltending that you hate to say there's that much pressure on one guy, but goaltending really is the difference on any team to do well is he's the backbone.
Do the guys ever reach out to you? I mean, you don't have to get the name specific, but do they ever reach out, with questions? Does that ever happen?
Not really. No, everybody, they're in their own situation. They're in their dressing room dealing with their pressures. We've kind of, as old guys, we've been through that. We understand what they're going through, but they have to live and learn it, and they're learning through their mistakes and positive things. But in general, they're spending so much time trying to play well and do well and do what they think they can do. And so you may chit-chat a lot of times, but it's not necessarily about the game. But indirectly, It may be about what's going on, but it's never directly.
Because, if I'm Colton Orr, I might pick up that phone and go, yeah, hey, Wendel, it's Colton Orr. I think they want me to fight Chara. Do you have any suggestions?
Get the first couple early. But it's that's probably one of our roles for our guys is our tough guys or our physical players. We have to be hard on Charas. We have to be hard on Luciches. We want them because they're tough guys, but also they're their skill guys. So we want to be wearing them down. So by game 6 and 7. Those guys have been getting run into for so many games, they're getting tired. And our finesse guys playing against Chara, we have to 2-on-1 those guys. We got to get two guys in helping against just Chara, because 1-on-1 you're not going to beat them.
Is the Stanley Cup the toughest tournament in the world to win?
It is than I know of. Just the amount of games that you play, how often you play, and you're battling through all kinds of things by the end of the tournament that you're going through, and it's kind of a neat, fun thing because you're just playing games. Players love the playoffs just because it's play games. No more practice, no more. Everything is just you throw everything on the line every second day, and that's really how I broke it down in simplest terms. Is if you're a 20-minute guy every 2 days I play 20 minutes, or every 2 days I play 15 minutes, and then because you're usually playing through injuries or bumps and bruises, and you tell yourself, there's no way I can't play 15 minutes, no matter how bad I feel. It's 15 minutes every 48 hours. It doesn't sound like that much.
Until you have to play against the Lucics and the Chars of the world. They beat the hell out of you for a couple of weeks. Well, thanks so much for coming in, Wendel. It's always great to see you. As I said, the city always reacts, in a way to you that is very, very rare for a lot of athletes at this level of professional sports. Yourself, Pinball Clemens, they're just simply guys that there's such an emotional attachment to what you did as an athlete, and then it was even furthered by the kind of guy that you are, and you're deserving of everything that comes your way. And I just think that it's neat that you took the time with us, because I know it's the crazy time the Leafs are in the playoffs, which means your family won't recognize you over the next month or so, because it's going to be very busy.
Yeah, no, this is the fun time of the year, and this is where the identity really grows between the fans and the players. Just when the fans get attached to the team and they're watching those playoff games, they learn to hate the other team. You're going into visiting rinks and they learn to hate you, and so that's really where the identity grows with the team, with the fans and the players, is playoffs.
We also want to mention the Scotiabank Pro-Am for Alzheimer's supporting Baycrest. It's incredible nights. It's a lot of fun. They get to raise money for a great cause. And, of course, just average Joes like ourselves get to play with Hall of Famers.
No, it's a lot of fun. You come out, you play, hear some bad stories, and it's anytime we can use our great game to help raise money, it's awesome.
Wendel, thanks so much for coming in. It's always great to see you.
Thank you.
That's the one and only Wendel Clark. It's 8:30 on TSN 1050.